Love, we need to talk.
Oh no, this can't be good.
Now, listen, there's been something that's been on my mind for a while. I'm just not sure about it.
What is it?
I want to start my own podcast.
It's a great idea.
Really?
Yeah, what are you waiting for?
I thought maybe someday with the right guest, I'll start.
Yeah, right guest is right here in front of you. Today. Let's go for it.
This is happening. I'm excited.
Here we are.
All right. So, my very first podcast, and I'm excited that you're my very first guest. Now, I have to come up with the very first question.
Go for it. Hit me with it.
I will. How about something that I get asked all the time? How we met.
Yeah.
Do you
yeah,
get
that's a good one.
asked that question as well?
Not as much, but I think that's a good place to start. Yeah.
Okay, so how we met is it's my favorite story to tell, really, because I think it was obviously like a brand new chapter in my life, new things ahead. When I decided to start dating or start going out to see people, you were the first person that I actually met, and it was our friends, common friends, who set us up.
Yep.
And I remember when my friend called and she asked, would you be willing to meet, so-and-so person? He's a friend of a friend and, very good guy. We're vouching for him. Would you like to meet him? And I was like, sure, I think I will meet him, but at 11 in the morning on a Saturday when my kids are like at home and someone's watching them and I'm not missing an evening with them. So Saturday is okay because I anyway go out to do errands. So I'm just going to slip out and do this date and come back. And so you were an errand.
See, for me, the concept of weekend does not exist. So that it was a Saturday, I didn't realize. But okay, daytime is not an issue. I turned up there and that's when I had a kind of a shock. Because I was sitting outside Bikanerwala, it was shut. So I was like, okay, how are we doing this?
Okay, so just for a little background now, Chandran's a pilot, which is why he has no concept of weekends and weekdays. We'll get to that in a bit. But the other thing, which is that where we met was supposed to be Bikanerwala at the Point, which was also something that I had suggested that we do because...
My first time to the Point, by the way. Never
Really?
been there before, no.
No.
Yeah.
But did you enjoy being there?
Yes, absolutely.
Changed your life?
It sure did.
Okay, so we went there and I also didn't realize that this Bikanerwala doesn't do breakfast, right? So we then decided to head off to a coffee shop.
Starbucks, yeah.
Yeah, and it's sad now that all of the Point is going to shut down soon.
Yeah, we must go there again.
We should. But if we have to like walk back down that road today, here, what from that date do you still remember?
I remember that I was wearing my best shirt, because I came for a date and you came in a sweatshirt.
You're so... That's
what
what
I
you're going to
remember.
say.
Yes, that's what I remember.
It wasn't a sweatshirt. It was a really nice sweatshirt. It was something pretty, I thought. White and gold. Very me.
Now I know.
Yeah, now you know. But that day you thought I was not interested.
Yeah,
Not
I thought like, acha, okay. She's not really
serious.
serious, yeah. Time pass.
It's the last thing about me though. And now what's your opinion?
Yeah, definitely not time pass.
Not time pass at all. Because I think for me, I'm the kind of person that I knew if I just wanted to go out there, meet the right person and settle down with them. And I met and I settled.
True.
So what were you looking for?
Yeah, I was also serious, but I just had an open mind. I thought, okay, let's go meet you, and that's it. Because I didn't know anything about you. I hadn't heard of you. I hadn't heard the radio or your voice or any of that.
And you had a policy also, which was no, situation where you're going to be with a single mom, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I did meet a single mom very early when I was dating, and I just thought like I didn't have it in me to sort of play that role with a child. That's it. So I thought, okay, no, just not meet single moms.
Yeah. And so what changed here?
So when I saw that video, I just felt something that made me want to meet you, get to know you more. And that was it. I thought I'll take it from there. We'll see.
Okay. All right. So we met and then we had a few more dates after that. And I remember we went out on the 2nd of December because I wanted to watch the fireworks,
Wait, you're skipping one important bit.
which is,
You were my first second date.
oh, yeah.
That
Actually, that's, you know what? Yeah, you're right. Let's rewind and go back into your dating days a bit. You had a few dating apps, and
I was on a few. Yeah.
yeah, so tell us some of your interesting experiences. I know of these, so I can confidently ask you to share now.
I mean, you meet all kinds of people online. So, yeah, some interesting ones. The dating world has changed since when I was, in my 20s to now. So, I didn't know what to expect when I was going in. But yeah, it's weird. I mean, I think some of the funny things I've seen is like, it was just like a dinner. We met, we had dinner, we had whatever we did, packed up parcel for the next day and never seen each other again. So,
What, your date took the food home?
yeah, exactly half. Like, it's exactly half yet, and the rest was decided it was for breakfast.
And I remember you telling me the story about someone who said that your dating profile, this is how they knew that it was a real profile and not a fake account.
Yes.
How?
Very
So tell
simple.
us.
My name. When they saw my name as Chandran, they were like, this guy is definitely original profile. Because no one's going to come up with a fake name called Chandran.
Wow. You know, I remember once someone reached out to me to say that they had been talking to you up until this date, on a dating app. And then the next thing, suddenly they found out that you and I were engaged, and they were like, just watch out. Is this guy like, maybe something's up with him? And I know this person was only watching out for me. I think I was also really watching out for me the whole time since 2017. Like that's all you do really when you're by yourself in life, is you definitely don't want to end up in a situation where you're feeling foolish or silly or any of those things, but sometimes relationships can let you down. So I know that I was being very cautious even when I met you. I remember we sat down and I think for 1 hour we talked about kids.
Yeah.
That's all we
Yes.
did. We just talked about kids and a little bit about life in Dubai. And I was like, yeah, nice guy. It's nice to have met a nice guy. Again, like you, I also have not dated. I was married for so many years. So I also didn't know what to expect out there. But you were a great first date for me. So I can't imagine how you didn't have a second date sooner. But I was only happy to meet you again. And I remember on our second date as well, the first thing that happened was the kids' school bus met with an accident and I got a call.
Yeah,
and
we were on the beach. Yeah.
Yeah, we were on the beach. And then you immediately turned to me and said, let's go pick up the kids. And I was like, whoa, wait, hold on. The kids don't know anything about you. Let's figure out another solution. But that stuck with me. It stayed with me.
Yeah, I can just be driver.
You. No, but you're obviously more than that. And I didn't want you to have that introduction with the kids, nah?
Yeah.
Now, we've been together for almost 2 years, right? Since we've met first.
Yeah.
And we've been married for, a little over a year now. There's a lot that you and I think, a lot of our lives has been without, like Chandran without Karishma and Karishma without Chandran, right? We're doing this now. I want to know what of your life has changed or you're discovering differently now that we're married.
Sound. Like I stay home and I hear sounds. Normally.
Give me your hand. I just twist your fingers a bit. What are you saying?
Yeah, I mean, I've not had silence in the house for a long time now, which is a good thing. I'm not saying it as a bad thing. It's just something that I needed to get used to. That okay, I'm gonna have to focus even with sounds around me. That's it.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't say noise.
Yeah,
We're
so
still at
sound.
sound is
Sound.
fine. It's funny because for me as well, the silence that you lived with was deafening for me because I was like, oh my God, let's play some music. Like, let's liven this place up a bit.
Yeah, but see, that's what I mean. I also like music, so I play music.
Yeah,
I
but
play
your
a bit of
music
jazz.
your music
and
is also
it's
very mine is tunak tunak tun
mild.
da 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 baby.
Yeah, exactly. I needed to get used to that level of sound.
Yeah. That and of course the fact that you had Obi. I've never had a dog in my life. I know the kids have wanted a dog, so for me to first time, experience what it is to have a dog in your family, it's only been through you. So that's been
Yeah,
nice.
he's been with me for 15 years now. Yeah, my longest standing companion
Yet.
yet.
Now, I wanted to ask you this. I've been actually meaning to ask you this for a while. What was it that made you want to say yes to a relationship with me? Don't say that it was the only second date you ever had. I'm not buying that, because I'm constantly asking Chandran, why? Why did you fall in love with me? Or come on, there has to be something there, and you're never answering that question. So on
Yeah,
the
because it's
spot.
not a straight answer. It's like there's no way to put those feelings in words, But I know that, I felt loved, and that was a very significant part. I think that's, when I say, I felt something inside of me, and that's what made me, want to go ahead with this. It's that feeling of being loved, which was amazing. Yeah.
So I wonder if anyone watching this, has that backstory. If not, I think I'm just going to share it a little bit right now. So Chandran, of course, is a pilot who's been working in Dubai for 11 years
11
now.
years, yeah.
And so he's been here for a while. And then I've come from Bombay to Dubai. It's been 15 years for me. I spent, 10 of those years married to my husband, who passed away 6 years ago. Since 2017, it's been quite a challenging journey post that. I've been a mom of two, pregnant with the third baby. And then, of course, the third baby came along. So a single mom of 3 kids. And let's just say my hands have been full, And then I know that my support group, my friends, really, they were my, lifeline. And all of them have been waiting to see me get married or settle down. They've just wanted that for me, because they know that that's something that I would also want for myself, not something that I ever acknowledged, though, because I really was like, I had a great marriage to a wonderful man. And if it's just going to be that one relationship forever, then that's enough for me. But there was loneliness, I'll be honest. There's a huge hole, and there was a need for love that I felt inside myself, because I feel like I thrive when I'm being loved and when I'm able to love someone and get love in return. So when you're in a situation like that, where you lose your spouse, and overnight your marriage has ended, but you're still married in your heart, and you're still going about your life exactly as you would when you were still married, So there's a lot of your psyche that doesn't match that of a single person's. And so you're not living the life of a single person. So the chances that you're going to meet someone are very, very small, right? And I know a lot of my friends who are single moms were also in similar situations like that. Finally, 5 years later, when I was in that mental space where I decided to meet someone, I know that, even my best friends, even the closest ones, somewhere, wondered if I would actually truly find love again. Perhaps they were coming from a good place, but the kind of advice I often got was, be ready to settle, be ready to compromise. You are a mom of 3, and that's not great in the second marriage market. To hear these things, it can be really, it can do something to you. And I remember just thinking, what? I wasn't looking for love when I met my first husband, and I found the most amazing kind of love. So now when I am looking for love, how much more is God going to be invested in making sure I find it, and it's not going to be a compromise. I don't want that. And then since we've met and gotten married, I've had many people tell me that, Chandran's such a wonderful person, and you are, I'll never take that away from you. You are a wonderful person. But I also get the sense of that Chandran's done this noble thing by marrying a mom of 3, which again, I can't help but feel like it's a continuation of the earlier thought where, I should be ready for a compromise and sacrificing my happiness, etc. I should not expect 100% joy, love. And if I get it, then it'll be some saintly man who's, ready for it. I honestly don't think, though, that relationships should just be that, or should only be looked as that.
Yeah, and that's not, people may think that, But, I didn't do this as a noble gesture. It was love, and what I was missing in my life was love and the love of family. And so I met you and I fell in love with you. And it's much like, when I fly an airplane, I'm not thinking about the 400 people behind me all the time. I'm just focusing on flying the plane sometimes, and everything else takes care of itself. So, same way, yes, the children are here, but, my main focus was us. And us coming together, and everything else would fall in place. And I was missing my son. I woke up every morning thinking that I wish I had my family with me and I could be a dad like I used to, because I really enjoyed that. And so this is a blessing. Got a family to cherish. So that's great.
And I think for me and the kids as well, it does us well to know that we're also an equal measure a blessing to you, as much as you are a blessing to us.
Yeah.
I think for anyone out there that's in a similar situation, just that feeling of knowing that, you're not only receiving, but you're also giving joy. You're also a source of joy to the other person, to the partner, I think it is very important. It is uplifting. And I like to think that we're in a relationship of equals,
Yeah. In fact, when I speak to my friends, my colleagues, for example, I say that I have been adopted by a family. That's how I look at it. So there's, definitely this, I think the feeling is mutual.
My heart is a bit heavy. Are you okay?
Yeah.
You may keep going?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I think, you're the only pilot that I've ever actually known one-on-one personally.
You're the only... Okay, RJ. I was going to say you're the only RJ, but no.
No, he actually had a date with another radio presenter and a very dear friend of mine, actually, just before he met me. So,
all right, so we'll go back to the only pilot story.
Yeah, he's the only
Skip the
pilot
RJ.
that I actually know personally. But I'm the only radio presenter you got married to.
This is true.
Huh?
Yes, first and last.
So tell me, what's something that you learnt about or figured only after marrying me about radio?
Yeah, that you have to be upbeat and switched on all the time. Like you literally have a switch which you can turn on and off when the mic comes on, which is amazing. I could never do that.
Do you think that there's anything from radio that a misconception for you up until the point where you met me?
I don't know about misconception, but I know I always thought like, "Arey, why are they talking so much? Yaar, mujhe music sunna hai." And now I am waiting for you to start talking.
Yeah, I remember. So the day after we met each other, I had this segment on air called Ek Choti Si Kahani with Karishma.
Yeah.
And that played. And promptly after that, I got a message from you saying, that was a lovely story. For the first time ever, I felt like there should be more talk on radio.
Yeah, this is true. Absolutely true.
Yeah, you weren't just trying to... No?
My sentiments even today. Yes.
Thank you.
Keep talking.
I will, don't worry. I did not know so many things about the world that you belong to, flying. Like, I have only learnt that this is a world that is unknown to people on the outside. For instance, I did not know, and I found out the hard way, that you guys have a monthly roster. So you only know what you're doing 1 month in advance. That's it. You can't plan 6 months in advance. You can't even plan a holiday. You cannot plan for birthdays or anything really at any point randomly in the year. You have to wait till you get 1 month before then.
Yeah, and that's because I'm in a great company. I've had previous jobs where we had daily rosters, weekly rosters. I mean, you'd just be penciled in on the whiteboard that, okay, you're flying this flight today. That's it. So you couldn't plan anything. So this is a luxury. Monthly roster. Wow, fantastic.
Wow. I know that a lot of your friends, and their wives, they're quite, they've been doing this for a number of years now, right? Is there a crash course for someone like me? I've come into this really late.
No, there is unfortunately no course that's going to prepare you for this. Yeah, it's going to be baptism by fire.
You're the first person ever to have put me on standby.
Yeah. It's normal. We do that all the time.
Not in my world. Like
Stand by one.
we're in the middle of some kind of like WhatsApp communication and having kind of important relationshipy stuff we're talking about, and he sends me STBY. And I'm like, excuse me, kind sir, who do you think you are? But I understand because I'm also live on radio, and when the mic comes on, everything else is on standby. But you literally said STBY to me. Who does that, baby?
It's normal, pilot lingo.
Yeah, this is, I know, yeah. What is
Stand
this?
by and check is like normal. You say it all the time.
Another thing that I learned only from being with you is this communication blackout business. Like, you put me on communication blackout, and it wasn't even like we were not angry and fighting, but there was no communication between us. And now I've learned it's a regular thing. But the first time it happened, I was in a state of shock for 8 hours or something. There was absolutely no communication between us. This is also standard operating procedure?
Yeah, I'm sure you've heard on the airplane, please turn off your cell phones. That's it. That's standard. You turn off your phone, you can't speak to anyone.
Yeah, but we never realize that while as passengers we fly, now and then, and we switch off our phones. Pilots are flying all the time, constantly switching off their phones. So their families are pretty much on their own at that point all the time.
This is true. You have to kind of be self-sufficient.
And while the other stuff, is, chalo, I'll deal with it. I can handle it. I'll cope with it. There's something about, I don't know about all pilots, but about you, I find it very hard, to understand, is that you're a very technical person, which is great for you as a captain. But when I talk to you, like, on the basis of my heart, which is full of emotions, you come back to me with very technical responses. And then I have to break it down to you and say, hey, that was an emotional thing. Can you give me an emotional response? What is this?
That's just how we are wired. I mean, if you're going to ask me a technical question, the answer is going to be technical. It's simple as that.
So then by that logic, when I ask you an emotional question, the answer should be emotional, right?
Except that you're asking a technical question and you're expecting an emotional answer.
No, babe. I think I'm asking emotional only, but it's all going to a technical person. That's it.
Maybe. Okay. Guilty.
For example, when Chandran's away on a flight, I'll say to him, I wish you were there. This happened, that happened. It would have been so nice for you to have been there. And your response to me will be like, yeah, but I was flying. But that's not what of course I know you're flying. I think what I'm trying to say is that I missed you, and it would have been nice for us to do together.
It's not a technical question. You have to come up with a better example. Sorry.
This is a question that our producer has decided to throw into the podcast. So we're going with it, all right? Are you ready? When did you know that you were going to be happy married to me?
Very early. I can tell you that after the first time I met you, that day, Bikanirwala/Starbucks, I went home, I deleted all the apps. That was the beginning of it.
That is so sweet. And we didn't even have a second date planned at that point.
No, I just realized at that point that, you know what, actually I don't need to do any of this stuff. I have met the kind of person I'd like to be with. I don't need apps.
So had I never, seen you after that, had we not met again after that, then what?
I would have waited and, if our paths crossed again, definitely, we would have hit it off. I knew it.
Oh, baby, you're so sweet. You never told me this. Okay, I'm going to tell you when I knew exactly that I wanted to be with you. And actually, it was also the first time we met. I was, like I said, not sure of what was out there. But when our conversation, that 1 hour, 20 minutes, that just went by like that, made me realize that if there was anyone in the world that I could trust with myself and, the kids, it would have to be this kind of a person. This exact kind of a person is the person that I would completely, eyes closed, fall back on. I remember telling my friend right after when she asked me, how did it go? What was he like? And I was like, he's great, fantastic. I'd like to marry someone exactly like him. And she was like, well, why not him? I was like, oh yeah, I didn't think of that. It's all a bit new to me. Even at that point when you asked for my number, it was all a bit new to me. I didn't know.
Yeah, so that's a good question. So what made you give your number to me? The nation wants to know.
Okay, this is not a very nice thing though. I didn't know or I didn't expect the number was going to be asked for. So when you asked, I was a bit surprised, but I had to come up with either a good enough reason to say no or a good enough reason to convince myself and give it to you. And I was like, I mean, you seemed like a nice guy, and there were all these random real estate agents who have my number and call me at any time of day. I was like, unke mukable to chalo, give him my number. So
Very nice. So nice. I'm so touched.
I said it wasn't very nice. But hey, as long as it's all gone this way, right? No complaints. Come on.
Absolutely. I've had dates where at the end of the date, I've dropped the person off at home and they have refused to give me their number. That's why, before you left, I needed to get your number. Just to know, like, okay, where am I?
Oh, so this is like a dipping stick for you.
This was a little bit of a dipping stick, yes.
Wow. What else have you learned from your days of dating?
No, very little, but this is one of those things that, okay, I need to get some feedback before I say bye-bye.
We're a couple and we're obviously in love with each other, and this is pretty much the beginning of our relationship together. At the same time, we're also parents, and we're parents to like 14-year-olds and 13-year-olds and 10 and 5-year-old kids. So there's two parallel tracks in our lives that are moving at the same time and at great speed. And I think any couple that gets married the second time around, in a second marriage, basically, you realize that it's so different compared to the first time around when it's just the two of you, when you can take your time figuring things out, holidays, plan your child, etc., etc. With us, it's been pretty much a fast moving train, and we've had to parent all along the way, without stopping at all. And I think your parenting, my parenting, I think it's like it crosses paths. We have different ideas. We do come together at some points. I know for me personally, I have a very strong belief in two is better than one. So anything that you suggest or say to the kids, I want to be 100% behind you in that. Because kids are very smart, and once they see that the parents are taking two opposite routes, then...
Yeah, I appreciate that a lot. It's just my style is very different.
Very.
Like, as you know, like we are kind of molded by our parents, and my dad was very strict, and that's the only way I know to do it. So yeah, strict is the only way to go.
And lectures.
Yeah, it's only lectures because people don't listen. Listen to what you have to say in the first 5 minutes. Then you have to persevere for another 59 minutes.
Gosh, I have witnessed so many of these lectures, especially in car drives. I mean, what is it with drives and these lectures? They just seem to go on and on and on. And I'm just like, okay, can we change the topic already? But, I keep it in, and I'm fully supportive of everything that you have to say, because it is important. And I think I know the kind of parent I am. I go soft very easy. I'm very strict also, but I also say, okay, chalo, never mind, do what you want to do eventually.
But that's also required to kind of mellow things down, make it, acceptable. So it's, I think we found our balance, with time.
Finished. End of story, baby. Nice to meet you. Oh, but wait, how could I forget? Yeah, we do get lectures from you in the car, but we also get lectured right here at our dining table every single meal time. There'll be one child who'll be fussing about the food, and there are 3 children, I mean, it's Sunday, one child, Monday, another child, and Chandran he's a guest lecturer in this house.
Yeah, guest speaker. This is starting to look really bad, but the reality is, some things you just cannot compromise. And each kid has a different, tantrum to throw. One is finding it too spicy, one it's, too much food, too little food, all kinds of stuff. So it's obvious. I think it happens in every household, that dining table, definitely some lectures happening.
See, my approach to these situations is normally to tell them, what, this is what I'm expecting from you. And whatever it is that you want done differently, we can talk about it. But this is the expectation, So for me, it's more of a conversation. And we figure out by the end of the conversation that these are the logical reasons, or these are the health reasons, and this is why you're eating what you're eating.
Yeah, that's just a very time consuming sort of approach. You're just regimented. This is lunchtime. My grandfather, when we sat down for lunch and we used to eat on the floor, he had start time, end time. At the end of time, the plate was removed from under your hands. That's it. So he was very regimented. I mean, we are not being as strict as that, but it definitely taught me the lesson that I must eat, and I must eat fast.
That explains a lot, love. I want to say thank you to you. Number one, for...
You're welcome.
Yeah, well, okay. All right, finish. End of story. No, I want to say thank you to you for completely 100% standing by me and, putting yourself behind my ideas. So when I told you that I've been wanting to do a podcast, I think the fact that you jumped right behind me to say, let's go do it, it is exactly the kind of support, that any idea needs. And I've done plenty without support, within work, outside work. It happens everywhere, wherein you're the only one that has a thought or an idea and no one else really believes in it. So you try and you may fail, it might work, but to do it with support means the world. So
yeah, absolutely. It's my pleasure. I mean, I am fully, able to see the vision that you have. So yeah, I'm behind you 100%, and it gives me pleasure. This is fun. I like it.
Yeah, my vision basically is that we have wads of money stacked all the way to the ceiling. So he completely believes in it. Wow, I think I hear the dogs barking. So in addition to, of course, being parents to our kids, we're also parents to Lucky and Obi.
My contribution.
Yes, what a beautiful addition to the family. And so I think, yeah, that's it, babe. This is it. Podcast episode 1 done.
Fantastic.
Yeah?
Love it.
I love you.
Love you too.
I didn't enjoy that high five. Let's do a better one. All right. Well, that's it on this very first episode of Hey Karish. I'm so glad that you've joined us. I'm so glad you've watched this episode all the way to the end of it. We'll be back with another guest, another episode. So keep watching and, of course, keep smiling, because the idea here pretty much is to bring incredible stories out to you and hopefully give you hope for the day.
Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and smash that like button.